And Jess Hilarious, who has been receiving a lot of backlash for her comments, where she stated, I'm not quoting directly, but the gist is that trans women are not biologically the same as women.
I stand with my sister Jess Hilarious. I'm glad she took the stand because so many black women are afraid to speak up. First of all, I want to make sure people understand what I perceive to be the clear threat in this instance. And I don't know if you can remember, about a year ago, I was on Fox Soul with the Tammy Mack show. And she had a conversation on black male-female relationships. It was myself and another biological male. It was a biological female. And the other person who I thought was a biological female was a artificial woman, meaning he's a biological male. Tammy Mack nor her producers warned us that it would not be two women, two biological women and two biological men. She snuck the transgender in and didn't tell us. Why would a black woman be having a biological male, AKA artificial woman, discussing women's issues, black women's issues, as if he were a woman? I said then that black women better stand up and speak out against this, because the American white power structure is engineering a situation where the natural voice of the biological black woman will be permanently silenced and replaced with artificial women, biological men, who will be standing in and speaking as if they're real black women. And the threat in this is the fact that what really matters to black women will never be discussed in a public forum, because the government can control the narrative of the black woman by using these biological men disguised as women. So what Jess Hilarious is doing is important. It's critical that it gets done. We're not going to allow her to get canceled. She's doing the right thing. A biological man can never be a biological woman. He will never get a menses. His breast will never develop milk. He will never carry a child. Last time I checked, women have an XX chromosome. Men have an XY, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't matter how much sexual reassignment surgery you get. You will never have a double X chromosome. Men cannot be women. They can only be made to look like them. Women cannot be men. They can only be made to look like them. But here's the difference. I don't really see biological women living as artificial men trying to speak for black men. I don't see that. I'm seeing biological men living as artificial women trying to speak for black women. And I think the reason why this agenda is in play is black women, unfortunately, not because there's anything wrong with her, but because of the oppression of black men, she's the leading political voice. The black woman is the most educated in our community. The black woman is the most financially stable in our community. So from the perspective of the white power structure, the way that they're seeing, we've already neutralized black men as much as we can for now. We now got to work on these black women who are becoming increasingly more militant and politically conscious. They see the woke black woman as a threat now. They used her to subdue the man. Now we got to subdue her. So what we're going to do is use these artificial women, these biological men disguised as black women, and we're going to let them be the mouthpiece so we can control the narrative. I hope sisters recognize how important what Jess Hilarious is doing. You cannot let the white power structure silence your voice and replace you with biological men disguised as women. The last point I want to say on this issue with Jess Hilarious as it relates to the racist agenda to replace the authentic biological black woman's voice with an artificial biological man's voice disguised as a black woman. Black women have to take some responsibility for this, because black women, many of them, were open proponents of homosexuality. Black women thought it was cute. They thought it was funny. They have black male friends. They hang out with black gay men. The reason black women got to be held partially responsible for this transgender issue, where they want to silence their voice with an artificial woman's voice, is if you supported homosexuality as much as black women did, You allow black men to go to the edge of the diving board. Now he wants to jump off the diving board into the water. He says, I no longer want to just be gay or act as a woman. I want to live as a woman. That's the leap that was made from homosexuality to transgender. So although I'm standing in solidarity with my black queens, I need them to understand y'all helped give birth to this biological man reborn as artificial black woman phenomena that the government is now going to try to use to silence your voice. Black women helped encourage this move. They didn't know it would lead to this, but I need them to see how not looking long enough or being visionary enough, looking at the long-term consequences of the stuff that we support, you actually provided the momentum for the transition from homosexual to artificial woman. I think the reason a lot of black women were comfortable with black gay males is, number one, they accepted them. The black gay male was able to understand them in a way that they wish the heterosexual black male would.